feel free to think about that while we're waiting for a few more people to roll on in as well.
I know we've done so in the past. We typically tend to record these welcome meetings. I'm not sure if we are today. Are we recording today, or we're just gonna want through just so we can get people?
We can record or we cannot. It's recording right now, but I'll cut it
Oh,
the 5
all
minutes after.
right. So we are on. We are recording, people.
Thanks everyone for being here, taking the time to come meet with us today. See some familiar faces, a couple of new ones. So yeah, glad to have everybody. Looks like we've got a couple of other chapter facilitators around too. I see some Illinois in the house, I believe, with Barbarian Reed and plastic paintings. I forget where you're from. Washington, right? Washington State, I think. Yeah, but feel free to say hi if you are in like a particular area and want to let people know where you're at. Yeah, always good to just know where some friendly faces are or friendly usernames are from around the Discord. Oh, you're in Maine. Okay, gotcha. Thanks, Plastic. Yeah, we'll get started probably in about like 3 or 4 minutes here. Let a few more people join in. Philadelphia, New York, nice. Yeah, Massachusetts, right. Yeah. Hey, Iris. Iris is one of our mods. Yeah, getting a good crew today. Welcome again for the last few people who came on in. We'll get started in about 2 minutes. We're just giving people some time to jump in on the beginning of the meeting before we get started. So feel free to type hi in the chat. Let people know where you're from if you're comfortable. Yeah, and we're gonna go through some of our agenda items, and we'll also discuss the icebreaker towards the end about what programs or services you all can think of that might help empower your community or prepare yourself and others to strike back.
Oh hell yeah, dystopia. We'll be able to do chapter possibly some chapter announcements and stuff during the topics. We'll love to hear from any of our facilitators about any events, projects.
Yeah, glad to see some other places are getting started in person too. I know it takes a little while to get that going, but it's always fun and good to start seeing people in person and yeah, getting together. So awesome on that. And there's some good people out there in Massachusetts. I know I've talked to H, I think, is also out there, and MJ. Yeah, cool people.
It's one of those states that always fuck me up on the state spelling test. Massachusetts, fucking swear.
I also never realized I had no idea how to spell Connecticut until I had to spell it a couple times for GSUS stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah. All right, we'll go ahead and I think get started here if you're good with that day. But yeah, if anyone has any questions about using Discord or anything before we get started, yeah, go ahead and come on mic if you need help with anything.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you all right. What's going on?
Could you Could you point me to the chat board, please?
Sure. So to see all the text chats that we're talking about, are you on a phone or are you on a computer?
Desktop.
Desktop, cool. So if you go to where you see the voice channel that we're in, it should say group meeting. And there should be a little text bubble just to the right of where the title for the chat or for the chat channel is. Did that work for you?
Okay. Mm,
And you might have to scroll a little bit to see, the most recent
Nice.
messages.
Okay, thank you. I see it.
Yeah, perfect. No worries. Learning something new. I know that not everyone has used Discord before. So, yeah, if you're on computer, take a look near where you found the voice channel. There should be a little text bubble. If you're on phone, there should be a control menu at the bottom. And I think the text bubble's in the center, if I remember correctly, kind of near where your microphone and video settings are. Yeah. All right. Should we get started, Day?
Yep, let's roll.
All right, so then I will start us off. Welcome, everybody. I'm Dalian. I help organize with the Oregon chapter. I also help here on the Discord with some stuff. We've got Day as well. Day, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, peace, everyone. My name is Day. I help organize with our Detroit Downriver chapter in Michigan. I'm grateful you all had the time to be here, and let's get started. I hope this meeting helps you all out.
Yeah, definitely. So our plan for the meeting is to give you a little bit of an intro to who we are, what we do, um, share some of the kind of most common, like if you're looking for like an action that you can take to start helping spread the word about the general strike or build the infrastructure that we need to make a strike successful. We're going to give you some resources and some places you can look for to find those things. We know can be a lot here on the Discord, so we'll try to point you to just a couple places you can go to if you want to get started on things. But that's really what this meeting is for, is to kind of share who we are, why we need a general strike, what our broader partnerships are trying to accomplish with other organizations, and how to help you all get started with taking actions to this movement, as you might have seen, is going to be built with a lot of different people. It's going to take a lot of us to accomplish what we want to do with changing society for the better and demanding radical changes by withholding our labor. So yeah, we can't do this with just one or a few of us. It's going to take a whole lot of us. And each little action that each one of us does helps kind of carry the flag forward towards this goal. And it's going to take all of us together. So we appreciate any time, any efforts you can share whenever you're able to do so. It really, really does help. And we're very thankful for that. Yeah. So let's get started by introducing kind of General Strike US. Hopefully everyone's been able to check out our welcome packet yet, but if not, this is one of the best places to kind of go back and look for information about what we do, what our values are, how the General Strike is going to work. It'll tell you about the kind of different phases that we're in as we're building towards our goal of getting 3.5% of the population to form the critical mass to be ready to strike and be successful. So, yeah, in short, though, we know that we've protested, we've marched, we've voted, and we don't see changes happening that need to happen. So that's why enough is enough, and we're preparing to strike back together. Let's see. So, some of the things that Day has shared in the welcome meeting agenda that'll come up kind of first in that agenda are our GSUS link tree, as well as a GSUS resources link tree. I would suggest, if you've got time during or after the meeting, take a look at these two sites. They contain a lot of really, really good information about flyers, the welcome packet, things you can print off and share with other people. The resources one has a lot more information about actions you can take in your community, as well as kind of how our organization is structured as well. So it's a bit of a deeper dive once you're ready to actually start doing things out in the world, or online too. A lot of these actions can be done remotely with comrades as well. One of the things I'll draw your attention to is we do have our code of conduct as well, which for all of you new members, this is a great resource to read and make sure that you're familiar with. it does help out in cases of disagreements and is meant to be a guiding principle for keeping us in community with each other in a positive way so that we can still work together and accomplish our goals, get what we need done. Not everyone has to agree 100% of the time with everyone else. Disagreements will happen, and that's okay. We just want to be able to move forward with them productively when possible, just as long as everyone's still aligning within our values as an organization. All right. Let's see. So, some of our other resources that might be interesting to you all is we do have a skills and resources form. This is a little bit more in depth than filling out the strike card. You don't have to fill out the strike card to be a member of General Strike US. There's many ways you can help move our movement forward. There's many ways you can share our information, even if you might not be in the position to be able to take that strike action at the very end. We'll need to find plenty of people who can strike, but there's also plenty of people who'll be able to support us and still share resources or spread the word who won't be able to strike if you're, caregiving for people and you just can't give up your income or your benefits, things like that. So feel free to ask around the Discord. Lots of people will be able to kind of help talk you through those decisions. But there's also this skills and resources form, which provides more information about what you as an individual might be able to contribute or would be willing to share with our movement when we get to the strike. And sometimes before the strike as well, we might be able to reach out and ask if you'd be willing to share something that you have a background in. Your knowledge might be useful for us. For example, like we've asked recently for some lawyers to see if they might be able to help with legal questions that we had as we're talking with partner organizations. Or we have lots of people helping out in our tech team to try and create infrastructure for like ways we can communicate with each other or keep our social media platforms connected, things like that. Yeah. Some of the other additional resources you might find on those two websites. You can find out more about how General Strike US is structured, what sort of chapters are already starting to become active and have meetings, which chapters have social media pages, where to find those. There'll be guides in case you want to help reach out to external organizations and help start forming partnerships for your chapters. There's also PDFs for how to print flyers, zines, pamphlets, graphics, things like that. We've got some really cool how-tos. I know that Day just added a couple of ones there, and I think I added one as well. But stuff on how to create mutual aid groups that can help your community share resources, ways to start time banks, community trash pickups, free stores, how to like talk about community defense and come up with plans for that, ways to create political education opportunities or food pantries in your area. So like we were talking about earlier, really trying to build actual activities and meetings in person is something that we're trying to do from our Discord and help support you all as well as our other chapter facilitators to be able to actually take these actions into the world as well. The resources as well as the welcome packet will also share about what's going on in our general strike phase 1 and phase 2. We're currently in phase 1 right now, where our kind of biggest mission priority is to get more people involved, try to get our numbers up to about 6 million so we can move into our next phase of planning, which will be to really hone in our strike demands during phase 2 of our 3 phases. There's also some cool resources at the bottom of the GSUS resources link tree that has some culpability resources as well as some resources put together by the Sista TIFF group or individual. Yeah. Excuse you, whoever burped there. But yeah, we'll go ahead and take a pause here. I'm going to check the chat real quick, see if we have any questions that we should answer at this point, and then I'll throw it over to Dave. Dave, you noticed anything that we should answer before we continue?
It's Bree put, how do we get added to the link tree for those of us starting a chapter?
Yeah, definitely. If
So
you're interested in making a chapter link tree, I'll drop the link to that area in the Discord that has the information on how to make a link tree. If you've already made one, or actually Dave already got us there. So yeah. So that's how you can make a link tree if that was what you're asking. If you have a mutual aid organization that you want to recommend get put onto a link tree, it kind of depends on which state you're in. So that same channel that Dave posted it, the shortcut to, um, will show you all the different states that have link trees, and you can connect up with the kind of account holders there and talk. Thanks, Dave, for keeping an eye on the chat. I don't think I see any other questions, so can I hand it over to you to take up the next set of topics?
Yep. So we have a couple topics here, more like announcements. So what? But we do need some volunteers, and you can spread the word, whether it's in your own state channel or just around general chat or off topic chat. But we do need volunteers for GSUS regional discourse. This hub is like our national community hub, but we do want to break off, in regions first. So whoever's interested, if you had like a moderator experience, if you're familiar with Discord, yeah, definitely reach out to us, because it's definitely needed, and gonna help us continue to grow and advance. And we are also planning some state and regional meetings. I do know a couple states have already been having their own meetings. So if you have not already, just double checking your state channel if you're interested in trying to get one started and you have any questions. But feel free to reach out to us. We also have like a guide for conducting meetings, and how to help them run a little bit smoother for you. There's also like a new it's a welcome briefing. So basically, it's a video presentation of our welcome meetings. A lot of those are on our YouTube. If you just want to check those out to get an idea, or to even use during your own state meeting or your local meeting or whatnot. But definitely keep an eye out for those in your state channel. Organizing workshops, those are needed. I do know if you check in the projects channel in Discord, you'll find a bunch of projects to get involved in. I know people are trying to help produce content, infographics, videos, workshops to help folks on the outside understand what we're doing here a little bit better. And the best way to do so is through those educational workshops, those trainings, infographics, pictures. However, we got to get the information out there by any means necessary, right? Yeah, and the last one is our next coalition meeting is March 29th. For those of you who do not know, our coalition meetings is an opportunity for us to connect with new and pre-existing coalition members, organizations, and groups that tend to align with our strike demands, or who are interested in contributing to possible strike needs. Every community may have different needs, but these groups are, willing to basically promote our strike card. We can, demonstrate mutual solidarity by adding them onto our partner list. They either have resources or skills that they're willing to contribute, or they advocate for a certain strike demand. So yeah, these meetings basically help us grow our coalition. We tend to show our skills forum a lot during this meeting to get those groups. They sometimes they don't want to sign a strike card, but we always have the resource and skills forum for them to still build that relationship and keep in contact and whatnot. So yeah, the reference. Oh yeah, so we do have a general strike revolution. That's another group, but we have that on the agenda for those who would just like to look. I know we talked about we'll be crafting, fine tuning our strike demands in phase 2, but just looking at other options, how other groups have set theirs up, just to give us a idea. I know there's like Strike for Our Rights. There are other strike initiatives out there. We're all heading in the same direction, but just to look and see how we possibly want to do it, what we don't want to do, or what we want to stay away from, and so on. But that's a good source right there to possibly get an idea. And we do have GSUS chapters, local circle, regional circle, connect with community, local groups to pinpoint demands. All right, so sweet. If you're interested in starting or joining one of our local chapters, they play an important role within this movement. These are our eyes and ears to the streets. Basically, what the thought provoking question hinting to what programs, what services can you think of to help empower your community. Our general strike chapters are encouraged to at least come up with one service or program or establish their own. But we don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's a lot of groups out there already doing the work, and we can possibly just help them out, support, and so on and so on. And we talked about the welcome briefing has been updated, posted to YouTube. That's like our welcome briefing presentation. It's just like a version of this. It's just been recorded, put on our YouTube for you all to utilize for your own chapters or to help people understand. You can send it to your friends. Have them subscribe to our YouTube. It's a lot of good information on there, like our political education classes that we have on Wednesdays. 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. These discussions basically help, produce, the revolutionary consciousness to push the movement forward, to people understand, why we are striking, the vision on where we want to, the direction we want to be going into.
Could I ask
Yeah.
a question about that?
Mm-hmm.
I saw there was a weekly meeting about political education, but in the education liberation workshops, is that separate from the videos, like the watch along thing? Or
You
is
said
that
is it separate from the what?
yeah? Oh, so like in the education workshops here, there's like political theory videos. Is that a different thing than what you're talking about?
Yeah. So the political education discussions have been going on for quite some time. There is a new workshop that was just put added to the calendar. It's political theory videos, separate, but it's hosted by another member. Anyone is free. If you can think of a workshop that you would like to host here on a Discord or on another platform that may be strike related, or can radicalize the people, by all means, reach out and we can set that up.
Yeah. I posted something like I would like to organize something of my own. But I don't want to like double up if that's something that's already existing. So what was the other thing you're referring to?
The political video.
No, not the video, the other one. You said there's like a weekly discussion sort of thing.
I mean, the more the merrier. I'm sure our comrade Jayden will have a problem. Like we need, if you want to do it on a different day, I don't think it should be a problem.
Well, I'm just curious about like what that entails, right?
Yeah.
Like
Why
what
don't we put
the
you in touch?
conversation.
Yeah, we can get in touch with you and discuss a little more off to the side after the meeting, just to see what you might be interested in,
Yeah,
and we
that's
can share the topics that are getting covered by the other members. I forget exactly who's doing the political theory videos. Oh, that's Anarch, right? Who, yeah, I haven't met yet. But yeah, so we've got Anarch and Jaden. One of them is running political education on Tuesdays. The other is running political education on Wednesdays, if I remember correctly. But yeah, let's get you all connected, and if you want any help on like ideas for how to get started too, yeah,
yeah.
we love that.
Okay, yeah, that'd be dope. Thanks. I'll
Cool.
mute myself again.
No, you're good.
Right on, y'all. We almost to the open discussion. I was trying to run through. So we do have the movie night watch party, and that's the political theory videos. Those are, man, I probably put those too close. All right, so let me rewind. So we have political education class on Wednesdays. These two are new. It's our Saturday movie night. It's a watch party. Those, I'm pretty sure aren't all political. So if you just want to go have a good time, it might just be, some chill. But if you're into, political theory, or if you just want to see what it's about, there are some political theory videos on Tuesdays in the watch party room, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Those you can also find this information on our calendar. There is a book club every Sunday. It won't be this Sunday. We did reach out to the individual, but it'll be next Sunday. And then we have BPP, Black Panther Party, Michigan Documentary Club. That's every third Tuesday, but you'll typically get an announcement about that. So yeah, if you have any interest in hosting a workshop, please reach out. There's two more things I just wanted to add. One, Meta, our Instagram, has been getting restricted. We've been seeing some censorship, so if you are following us on there, we haven't been posting or things like that. Gradually, we'll be trying to move off Meta. So that's just a heads up. And if any of our chapter facilitators would like to, speak or share any ideas or projects they're working on or report back from anything, feel free to, and we can hop into open discussion.
I will make a small note about the meta stuff as well. We're not exactly sure if we'll get full account access back or not, but we still have the ability to see what a lot of our like partner organizations are posting, and sometimes we can still share that information to our members. So yeah, we'll be leaving the accounts up as much as we can if they're still useful. But yeah, we'll be announcing as we're able to create new accounts, and if anyone is following our social media accounts and is able to help like share the news once we have the new social media accounts up. We would love your help in that, since I'm not sure if every chapter will actually be able to post from their Instagram accounts when they're doing those sorts of things. So yeah, keep an eye on your state channels. They'll probably share the information through there, or we'll put announcements in the overall like bulletin board or announcements section of this Discord as well. All right, cool. Then I think Fight wants to talk next. So yeah, let's open it up to the general discussion. Go for it, Fight.
So yeah, I was thinking about what can we do? What is a program that can help our community? General question here, and my answer was vague, just like my state planned meetup days. We picked I think 3 or 4 different locations that were central to various groups of us, and picked a day, and we're just gonna like go hang out somewhere. I mean, I don't even think I have to check the state channel. I'll do that after this, but we're just gonna get lunch or something. Maybe not something involving spending money. If it's a nice day, we might, go to the state forest or something. But it's yeah, it's really exciting to get to know people. You mentioned H is running our Massachusetts Discord. She's doing a great job. And yeah, I don't know. We've been planning to meet up and do various protest things. I'm gonna have a conversation with someone in my county that I met through GSUS, who is connected with a group called Mixed Faces and Wild Spaces, which is just a community involvement thing that I never would have heard of without GSUS. And the person leading that is their mentor runs the largest like food distribution, like free food delivery service in the state. So it's like just through getting in touch with some people in my state, which it's more active than others, but it's still only maybe like 30 people. I mean, I think there's maybe 100 or 200 in there, but it's as far as like actively talking, it's not that many of us. But the people that are doing this are so interesting and so passionate and so experienced in so many different ways. And I just feel like anything that we can do to help people sort of come out of the woodwork, because there's a lot of people in here that are maybe not so active on the Discord, that are with the strike and with the ideas, and just like, primarily focused on their activity in their local community. And we're just going to meet so many more of each other the closer we get involved into our own communities, and doing what we are best at and most passionate about, whether that for you personally is like feeding people or climate justice or trans rights or whatever. Like, there's so many cool things going on, and yeah, I don't know, I think that what we're doing and starting is working, and once we get it more streamlined, we can help teach more people to help get their other states, activated and working together. So anyway, thank you.
Hell yeah. Yeah, right on. Fight. I'm glad that you shared that, and it's always good to hear. I just got chills because it is a great feeling. I wish everyone can experience, and they will eventually. But I wish people, can know the magic, behind community, behind just making these connections, and is what they fear the most. That's why we're getting restricted and censored. On Meta now. Yeah, the energy is definitely picking up for sure.
Can you give those of us who are running meta sites information briefly about how you knew you were being censored?
Sure. It was pretty obvious. We were trying to post comments and underneath like other people's posts, and most of us were getting a notification saying that that activity had been restricted from our account due to some sort of pretty much Meta just comes up with a bullshit reason that they want to censor you, and they don't tell you what it is all the time, and they also don't tell you how long it's going to last. Their moderation is not very good in my opinion, and I know a lot of it's also not even done by human decision. It's a lot of just like automated stuff. But we think a lot of it was due to the fact we were posting a lot of boycott for the 28th of February materials. It seems like from the chapters I talked to, pretty much all of the posts that we were putting up about that were getting taken down retroactively as well. So it seemed like someone at Meta or had either set the algorithms for their AI moderation to try and flag that stuff, or they actually had human people going in and trying to get rid of those sorts of posts. We also were unable to create our own posts. And I think some chapters are still in that phase. I know that the Oregon Instagram is still in that phase too, where I can't make posts, I can't comment on other people's things, but I can still, I think, add to my story and DM people. So yeah, we've been able to keep in touch with some of the mutual aid organizations that are still like asking for help and things. Hopefully that helps.
We have a stack. We have Fight the Dystopia and Plastic Paintings. We have 2 people in stack.
Yeah,
I
and
think
Fight
Fight-
already talked. So if you want to share
Okay,
anything
so then
else,
it's
let us
Plastic.
know.
No, I'm
But, yeah.
good.
Cool, thanks. So yeah, the stack is just to help us keep organized with who'd like to speak. So if you just type stack into the text channel, yeah, feel free to do that. Yeah, and we'll give you some time to talk. But I guess it's up for plastic paintings then. If you want to chat, go for it.
Hi. So this is my second weekly meeting. And I see it as sort of like
Mute.
hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay, my mute is playing games with me. So this is my second weekly meeting now. And I see it as kind of like an orientation for
You can start over, that would be great. Because we couldn't hear you for the first part. Now we can hear you.
You can? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is my second weekly meeting that I've attended, and it's like a good orientation to get people oriented. I was wondering if we could do like a separate weekly series that is more of like an exchange type of thing, that isn't recorded and isn't posted on YouTube, but is like a way for people to really talk about like next steps and what they're seeing in their communities and in their chapters, and just be able to dig in more on like problem solving and exchanging ideas and feedback. But maybe it gets posted in the Discord, but maybe it's like happening on Jitsi, and just have a space of like more nitty gritty discussion and exchange where, you know, maybe there's always like a couple chapter facilitators present to answer questions as things move forward. Is that something that we could do, that I could help set up?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I can take this one, and Dave, feel free to chime in too if you want. So this is part of the reason we're trying to have more regional or state meetings, and we're trying to set up ways for us to get more experienced volunteers to help like states that don't have these meetings set up, like get started with that. We've been so busy setting up things for our own states. I think a lot of the folks who are volunteering, that it's difficult for us to like find that free time to then, you know, communicate and set up these meetings for the other states. But we're trying to set up a way to do that and sort of have mentorships between states that do feel like they're getting settled and into a rhythm of things, try and help other states. We can have these meetings at any time though on the Discord. Y'all are welcome to, if you're like, hey, does anyone want to just chat about like a specific project that you want to work on? Feel free to use any of our meeting areas here on the Discord, or create your own little thread in any of the text channels. And you can have those meetings, you know, asynchronously just by chatting with each other, or you can say like, hey, anyone who wants to help talk about things, or just wants like to talk about like you're not sure about what next steps to do, and like a group of us want to figure out how to do that together, that'd be great, and we'd love help with that. This is part of being decentralized, means that any of you who are willing to take up and help other people find their roles within the organization, if you've got a little more experience, we'd love to have your help with that. And you're welcome to do that at any point. You don't have to get, you know, authorization from us, but we would be happy to provide our support and help facilitate too if you do feel like you want some help with that. Feel free to chat with us, and we can try and set something up. I know that Day, especially, and sometimes myself and others, we're involved with like a lot of projects. So we'll try to help out as much as we can. And if we do have the ability to help with a meeting, yeah, we'd love to. But we can also, we can help connect you with other people who might have the time to do so, even if we don't as well. So personally, feel free to reach out to me. And I can try and help connect you with others. But also, if you just want to like pick it up and run with it and set a date and time, like go for it. And let me know what you need. If you need anything, we'll try to help out with that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. We can do that kind of in a national level, but I guess the other thing I was trying to say is we're really trying to like help people do that at a more local or state level too, so that it can more organically turn into like in-person meetups and things whenever possible. But it can be useful even to, you know, talk to people West Coast to East Coast, or South to East Coast, you know.
Yeah.
People have good
Yeah, like
ideas.
the exchange of that, you know, might be also useful, is what I'm thinking there.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, thanks, Plastic. Anyone else have anything to add on that? It doesn't have to be Day or I either, if anyone else has things to add.
Think Fight wants to come up, and I just had like totally I think we can even add possibly like a raw and uncut, like cut off the recording, possibly at least like during our open discussion, like somewhat just, you know, let loose and, you know, speak what's on our mind for a few. That's pretty much all I had to add.
Yeah, I
So,
think
like,
that's a good option too. Is like once you get through um the you know, regular weekly welcome stuff, maybe just stop the recording and then we can all like chat a little more.
sweet.
Yeah,
Fight, did
I
you?
wanted to talk about. Yeah, so right before this, Jay was running just sort of like a Q&A, like what are you working on and what are you passionate about and what do you want to prioritize while you're here. And we were talking about doing that every week. So like, if that one is recorded, but that's mostly just so that we can go through it and look at the Q&A and put it into actionable steps later, so it doesn't just get lost to, like some level of political theory turns into navel gazing when you're just talking about it and not doing anything with it, right? So the recording isn't so much like, no, we're not like judging you and watching you for it. We're literally gonna like watch it again, take notes, and make it functional and put it to use based on the type of plans we're having. And it certainly doesn't have to be like just that meeting. If you wanted to say like, hey, every after the welcome meeting, I'm gonna host a continuation of a discussion, and have someone there that just can like be the voice of reason to whether that's you or someone else, to just if things get heated, put a pause on that part of the conversation and move on to another subject, or get a moderator if things get mean. Yeah, I don't know. I think yeah, this community really facilitates that. Like, if you want it to exist, just do it. Pick a time that works for you, and do it every week. And if you need backup, ask for it, and people will step up.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll speak to that too. Just that, I mean, for me, getting regular sessions is so good. I mean, I love coming to session every week, just checking in and hearing. But it's so good to see so many chapter heads coming here today. So that's awesome. And Plastic, if you wanted to do like the private group, I mean, most people are interested in private group. For me, it's more of a personal preference. Like, I love having recording and being able to go back over it and have that. And some people just don't like to be recorded, which is perfectly fine. And so we should have space for both. Also, JD is not. I don't think JD's here anymore, but he was interested in this, hour before to bring questions here afterwards. And then, but I'm open to any other time, basically during the week, and coordinating with doing local work for California stuff in Bay Area as well. So check.
If I may say something, sorry. If I may say something, I'm in New York, in upstate New York, and this is my first time at a meeting for the GSUS. I was just researching, I was following the politics, our political situation on YouTube and other news sources, and just wanted to do something about the situation. I guess a lot of us agree that we don't agree with a lot of what's going on with the new presidency and everything. I wanted to say, I was looking over the questions in the chat, like those questions. I don't know who posted them, but there was a lot like food for thought questions. I thought those were very good. Like a lot of very deep issues that would be good for discussion. I just want to say my point of view where I'm at right now is I'm upset a lot with capitalism and how injustices. There's some good things, but a lot of bad things. The way that money is valued so much in place of other, like, as a measure of success and everything. I mean, that seems to be very cliche, but I have a disability and I try to fight. For years I've been doing disability advocacy, but also to challenge people's bias. I think a lot of mainstream Americans have very distorted views on what it means to be disabled. Just as like many people don't really educate themselves about the facts about what's going on around them in our country politically and around the world. And I was just reading a book by Barack Obama, who, although I disagree with some of his policies and what he did when he was president, I feel like he was the best president of my lifetime, at least. And he said that democracy breaks down when people don't educate themselves about politics and don't participate. For what that's worth, I mean, is it really democracy now? I mean, I think we could still have a voice, but it's very limited because a lot depends on money and lobbying and all of that, all the other factors. But more practically, I was just thinking of getting my groceries, getting my necessities, my everyday necessities from more ethical sources than Amazon. And so I was using the internet. I've been using the internet to research that. If anybody has any ideas about if anybody kind of goes along in that direction, I'd be glad to hear what you have to say. I found a company that kind of recycles groceries that would otherwise be thrown away, and you can buy them at cheaper rates, which I think is a good idea. I just want to make sure I had the thought that maybe it's not going to be like they have to be up to the standard where they're edible, so that you don't get sick when you eat them. But like I just feel like other than that, yeah, I would like to support kind of this kind of a more ethical way that I get my material goods, and just connect with other people to discuss politics and things like that. Thank you.
Did anyone want to respond to that? I think Bree saying they had some resources, and I know we all had some helpful advice, some feedback.
Anyone can look at my bio. There's a link tree. I think I want to say that it's under general resources, but there's a ton of stuff in there.
Yeah, DV, thank you so much for being here. It's a ton of resources throughout. If you're in New York, we do have a General Strike New York chapter for me. We can get you that information. But definitely, it's resources around, and we're here for the same exact thing. This is a space, for us to come and discuss these things. I'm glad that you enjoy the poll questions. That's definitely what it's intended for. But yeah, we'll definitely get there. The consciousness is rising, and even if we have to migrate somewhere else, we'll definitely do what we need to do.
I have a response for that.
Shoot.
I'm I'm really interested in the food angle too, and I think one of the best things you can do is if you can start by volunteering at your local food pantry, even if it's just like one shift, to get to know people. Then that way you meet the other people who are really concerned with this issue, and you start to network them, and you see where the gaps might be in food mutual aid in your area, and you can start to address those. But through the eyes of the local need, and getting eyes on what that need is around you.
Thank you.
If I can add to that, I think it was I don't remember who it was that was talking about this, but one of the most powerful things you can do as an activist is to do good in your community, right? To make your beliefs known and to express them and to carry them through your actions, right? And so once you become a person who your community knows, like everybody at work knows that I am anti-capitalist. Everybody at work knows that I hate the fucking media and whatever. I'm very strongly opinionated, and everybody knows it. So that means whenever I go out and I volunteer, people see me with all my strongly held beliefs, and they also see me volunteering, and they connect those two, and they realize that people who hold these beliefs are willing to help. They are willing to reach out, and that takes power away from the capitalist superstructure that really just hammers down on the lies that they're the only ones that can help you. Right. So it's every good deed you do is a small protest. Just want to throw that out.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, 100% with that all the way. And thanks for sharing that. I was going to add one other thing that DV Advocate was saying, but I'll just kind of say it in a much more direct manner, which is thinking about how to redirect our resources, our time, our energy, our money, our rent, our taxes, anything that we can if we can redirect it away from these harmful systems and people who will use them against us or other people.
O2.
Yeah, if we can redirect them into our
750.
communities, into local
On
organizations,
the dot.
businesses, this is what we need to do as well. And that's what DV was saying. I was just kind of trying to put a slightly finer point on it, but yeah, it's going to be really tough to do like everything in your life all at once, but just pick a few things here and there every week that you want to change from, you know, Amazon or Walmart or Target or Safeway or Kroger or something. You know, just pick like one of those to change, and you know, by the time you get through several weeks, you'll have made some really big changes in where your resources are going, and that helps a lot too.
If I could also add to that. Can
Yeah,
you all
go
hear
for
me?
it. Yep.
Thanks. Yeah. I used to manage farmers markets too, and I think to the point of like finding places to buy, better alternatives to Amazon and stuff. I think farmers markets are a great place to like get to know your community and support
I'm
the
gonna take a
farmers.
shower right now.
Sorry, what did you say?
I don't think they know they're off mute. You're good though.
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. But yeah, just like getting to know your community and also, showing up in those spaces as yourself, and having people connect the dots, I think is also important. But just knowing where you're getting these things that you're buying from and having a like personal connection to them, I think is really important in like every aspect of your life, especially with the cause.
Hell yeah. I know we are still amped up from February 28th. And since we're here, we can discuss it. So we took that action. I know most of us participated. But just as we go out into our communities, for those of us who utilize social media for future actions similar to it, we should always try to, prompt, redirect people's energy. I know a lot of times, and we all, can't go out and do it, but to our own capacity, our own abilities. Don't just boycott and stay at home. We want to, shift our time, our energy, and money away from those entities, but we want to take actions that put directed back into our communities. Supporting and establishing our own systems, programs, and things of that nature. And all of these things have to work simultaneously. So all of these boycotts coming up, all of these smaller strikes coming up, we have to utilize each one to help build momentum for this mass general strike that we're preparing for. So let's just keep that in mind. Also, we have May Day coming up, so I was like thinking ahead, like what can we do to amplify the general strike's voice during these times when the energy will be high. So we're encouraging a lot of our chapters to get involved, with May Day, International Workers Day, because even the unions, we want to help redirect their energy towards more mutual aid, toward more community action and things of that nature as well. We're seeing unemployment rise. We're seeing homelessness rise. All of these things leads back to us taking the initiative, taking the responsibility to solve these problems, and we have the solutions. It possibly won't be the most top notch equipment, but by any means necessary for us to wing ourselves from being dependent on these assholes, on the system that uses our basic human needs to control us.
Plastic paintings on stack.
Oh,
Yeah. Is it me?
Yep.
Okay. So I kind of saved this for the end because I don't really think that there's a immediate solution today. But one of the conversations that I wanted to start having, and this is going more towards sort of like national coordinated events types of things. So obviously it's essential for us to be doing stuff in our local communities. but I'm also thinking about, are there ways that we can sort of coordinate some things at the national level where we're doing more like webinars, like live YouTubes with our organizational partnerships, or we're having a day of like info tables that like, once a month or something that is coordinated in all of the states if possible when we're ready to do that, so that we're doing more like regular coordinated events of different types. And I realize that there's a lot that really needs to be put in place to be able to do stuff like that, and it's a capacity issue too. But if we want to start having those conversations, I'm willing to have them and kind of be directed to the right people to help me have them. I just wanted to put that out there too.
Oh
Right,
yeah,
the
fight.
dystopia.
Hi. So yes, that's something that like the space can definitely be used for as far as like education and connecting with people that want to do that and putting it together. And like this community absolutely has the capacity to teach you how to do that and other people that want to do that. The hesitation is that so many people that know how to do that are already handling, like, we're all spinning 30 plates on sticks. You know what I mean? Like, we're all juggling. And that is to say, we can totally teach more people how to do that, but we can't put any of our own plates down and shift our entire focus. And we are growing. We're growing so fast, and there are so many people that want to get active right now. I think if you have the energy and the focus to do that, there's definitely people who want to do that with you, and people that can teach you how to do it right here. To begin sort of like moving in that direction, I would go to the server channel called Projects and make a new project and just define what you're talking about and what your scope is and what your timeline might look like, and start, just start. And people that want to have that conversation will, as people become aware of it, we'll direct them there. We'll say, hey, there's a project for that, go talk about it. And yeah, it'll I just think that there is room for that without shifting the entire focus, or like some people come in really hot and anxious and want to jumpstart the strike. And we don't have to do that. We can do national events and coordinate with states, across borders right now. And yeah, the systems are in place for that, and the people that can do it are here. So I think that's great. Over.
Thanks. Yeah, that's what I was wondering, is like, what's the specific place to start having that conversation? I didn't know if it was like an events team thread or if we're not there yet. But yeah, I don't know how to do the project channel, but I'll just find somebody who does to help me out with that.
I do. So if you like, once we're done with the meeting, if you want to hang out in the channel and chat for a minute, I'll talk you through it and we can do that.
Okay. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I think one coordination we can possibly try to do for those interested. I keep talking about Mayday, but I think a lot of us will be doing stuff for that. But we were trying to do like a free store um, during that time to promote, community building, mutual aid, provide resources. And I think our New York chapter is also headed, towards that direction as well. They're doing like a mutual aid thing as well. So that may be something we can possibly do to coordinate some of our chapters in. Yeah, and we got these sweet ass Mayday designs. If you all haven't checked them out, um, I'm gonna tag the page. But it's like designs specifically for Mayday, so they will come in handy. Talks about GSUS, how we're trying to, bridge the gap between, labor movements and grassroots organizing. Just talking about, a lot. You'll find it to be interesting and helpful if you're going to this event.
Yeah, the May Day thing is a great opportunity for that. Thanks for the making the connection there.
Mm-hmm.
One quick question I had that came up earlier was, there's a specific link to a specific document that has like bullet point talking points as opposed to just like the general information, the general welcome packet. If that exists, that would be super helpful. Check.
How you say you would like to get that set up, or you saying one it was like a bullet points, basically the same thing as the welcome packet?
Yeah, if there was just like a simple list of bullet talking points. Yeah, looks like Dylan might have a link. We'll see. Just curious. There's a specific document, but yeah, check.
Yeah, we're at the hour you are, so we're basically just it's open discussion. So if you had to get off and carry on, go ahead. We'll be around the Discord, but if you want to stay in chat, by all means, please stay, share your thoughts, ideas.
There is actually an effort to make like a booklet that will answer. Well, there's the FAQs on the website, and then there's an effort to make a booklet that like the chapters can pass out in their local community that will have more kind of frequently asked questions, like from the on the ground perspective. So we'll obviously let everybody know when that's ready, and we'll post it.
Is it going to be like a Zine or like a pamphlet?
I think we're calling it a booklet, but I think it's kind of like a zine type thing. Yeah.
All right, sweet.
It's just in the works. We're like, we don't even have a draft yet, but it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so anyone that wants to start like a project or a movement, there are channels for that. For people that are less familiar with Discord, first of all, does anyone not know how to find the channel list? Like, does everyone know what I'm talking about when I call it that? To begin with, feel free to jump off mute.
Are any of you comfortable sharing your screen and like?
Not me personally.
I think that'll be helpful. Let me see if I can do it.
Yeah, I can totally share my screen here.
Oh, sweet.
Which one though? Group meeting, maybe? Is this it? No, maybe that's just the group meeting.
We do see it.
Let's
We do
do the
see it.
whole thing. And make it really big. So we come up, here's our list of everything. And we are looking at project, right?
Yep, we see it.
So if you click on project.
So, yeah, click on projects. And there's a list of projects. So, some of the stuff, got proposed a while ago. Some of the stuff got is being worked on more actively. But if there's something similar to what you're doing, pop in there and see how it's going. And, in a decentralized organization, some of the stuff might be, here's a bunch of ideas and the person, walked away from the server. So don't feel afraid to just like come in and put your input in and get going on a project that might look abandoned or hasn't been responded to in a couple of weeks. It doesn't mean it's gone. We just don't want to reinvent the wheel 30 times, and someone might be stuck with how far they could get alone and ran out of steam on something. And if you can, see the need is there, pick it back up and take it where they left off. Or if it's too far different from what you're trying to do, you can make a new project. There's also a thread similar to this on the side called brainstorming. Yeah, and that is once again just a bunch of things where people are just sort of like talking through ideas, trying to figure out needs. If you scroll down a little bit more into the Learning Center on the channel list, there's organizing action is a great place to like drop some questions about like, hey, I was trying to find someone to donate all this extra food I grew to, but there's no food banks in my area. how can I start one, or how can I find people that want to start one with me? And like, that's a great place for resource sharing and question asking, and people go through there that want to help people get involved in their community and get things started. So if you're not even sure, where to begin at the project level, that's a good place for questions. There's also in that same channel, there's like other learning. Yeah. And that one has a bunch of things where people are like, these are things they want to teach, or things that they wish there was a workshop about, or like a whatever roundtable discussion, however you want to do it. This is a great place to jump in if you're like, should I do another political? I think there is one for various political discussions and what's on the table. So like people that want to contribute to teaching certain political theories, or sharing resources and exchanges in whatever way, whether political or otherwise. I mean, I don't know. I feel like everything's kind of political nowadays. Whether you want it to be or not, it affects everything. It's real life. So, yeah, if you have something that you feel confident teaching, I mean, there's so many things that could be relevant to a number of communities. It's a great place to talk about what needs are, and plan how to run those workshops, and what the best platform would be. Anyway, I don't know. Does anyone have any like questions about like where something is or how to find something? Because I'm happy to just like take the time.
I was
I'm
just
just a
gonna add.
community member. Go ahead.
I was just gonna add really quick, like so you go to projects or brainstorm or other, right, for like a project, you can search, and see if there's something that comes up from before, that might come up. So that's kind of helpful for me. But of course, if you want to create a new one, you click on the new post and you put a title like, new workshop, and then you put a little message, and then you just push post, and then that'll put it up there, and then you can start linking it and communicating and sending the links to other people for that particular post, because each one has its own link and everything. Okay.
And you can even save them as a draft if you like have a half-formed idea or need to leave to go get a link. Like you can save it and come back to it, which was very helpful information for me.
Yeah.
Would it be
Another.
Hell yeah.
okay? I feel like there's actually never mind. If somebody else has something to say, they can go ahead.
You all did
Um,
great. I want to directory or some other helpful channels. That was awesome.
Yeah. I'm gonna hop off here soon. If there's no other questions immediately, but I just want to emphasize, like, find your state channel. If you have a state Discord, visit it. Try to look at it like at least as often as you look at this. Like once. Even if nothing's going on, see if you can just like talk about what you're up to, and see if anything new is going on, because we're trying to get people organized. Arguing online, I feel like just like exacerbates our anxiety that we're all feeling from this really hard time in reality. And yeah, I think that like it can be overwhelming to be on a server with 14,000 people, and general chat is like always people fighting and panicking. And we're working on it. I spend some time in there like trying to spread some positivity and educate people and point people in the right direction and answer questions. But general is like a chaos field where everyone just like pours in with their first impression being overwhelmed. And if you can like take a deep breath and go into like the breakdown channels and the brainstorming and project and more functional channels, or like local community building, even better. Yeah, I find that like the less time I spend worrying about what I'm hearing about the media, about things I can't control, and the more time I spend like having a human conversation with the organizers in the next county over, like the better I feel and the more I feel like I'm doing as much as I can and less helpless, and it helps.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, have a great night, everyone. I'm gonna sign off, and thank you, Day and Dude, and all the other mods that were talking. I was not watching who was talking. I'm bad at voices. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Yeah, right on. Have a good night. Thanks, Fight. Yeah, if anyone else wants to hang around, feel free to pop off if you need to go on to other things. But yeah, if anyone else does have other questions, we'll be here if there's anything else we can help with.
Cool. Could you break down what those other political education things are? Like,
Yes.
would now be a good time?
Yeah, we got a little bit of time. I think we could do that. So I was just actually starting to try and make like a project post, and I was going to tag
Yeah.
all of y'all on it. So I know that Jaden, who's still here, also helps with political ed stuff. So Jaden, you could probably speak to what you do because you actually, I think, write your own material and organize things for it. It sounds like the other individual is hosting like a watch party where they'll walk through or they'll watch through some YouTube videos and then have like a discussion afterwards.
So yeah, thanks, Dalian. The Wednesday ones that I do, they're not off dome. I do write them, but they're more of a discussion type thing where I just talk about some things. It is political theory that we discuss. So it's means of production, extraction of the surplus value. It's going to be stuff like philosophical, understandings of our material conditions shared. The Tuesday ones is the first I'm hearing of it. Love it. I'll be there tomorrow. It's on Tuesdays, right? So, but Tuesdays, I'm not sure about that. We'll probably attend it tomorrow, let you know more. But on Wednesdays, those are the ones that are recorded, posted on the YouTube, yap and talk about political stuff, more so philosophy, because I believe that our politics come from our philosophies materialized.
Oh,
So that's just basically what we discuss. So it's mostly just politics, talking about the world, talking about our conditions, talking about intersectionality, talking about, just having a nice general discussion where we should go back and forth. No hate, no harm, no stress. Just feel free to talk about, we have like good hot takes and opinions over there, but no one gets heated. It's great.
Yeah. So that what my idea was, and maybe I did a bad job of explaining this, is literally just presenting all of political ideology. It's just like a 101 course. Here are your options. Here's what people believes. Here's what hierarchy is. Here's what systems of power are. This is how ideologies are created. This is how they're supported. This is how people navigate them, right? And it's more so like my vision for this course would be I would proctor it to whoever's there, and then that would be the one time they attend it, and then they go off, and then they continue to have discussions to discover. And it's really a resource to give you the terminology so that you can develop your own ideology, right? Give you the vocabulary so that you can further these discussions at home, and then you can go into your own organizations, and then you can really empower everybody there, right?
Right on. That's exactly the core. That's the core of education, is to not teach people what to think, but teach people how to think, give people the tools to learn for themselves, and then send them on their merry way, because we are all individuals ourselves, but it's great to learn off of each other. So yeah, that's great.
Okay, yeah, cool. And so like I'm not even sure if I'd like want to do that exclusively online, right? And exclusively on the General Strike Discord, but I was thinking about really just like starting it here as kind of like a trial run, more for myself just to see how the class would go. And I'd like to do that here with maybe some more closer to like-minded individuals, right? Where there's like I'm not gonna find people who are completely ignorant to what capitalism is, right? Like people here, it's less likely to go super far off the rails, and like I can kind of like get started here.
Yeah, you could definitely start something here, and then it doesn't have to stay here, right? As a decentralized organization, we do stuff. You have access to a platform and a bunch of people who are interested in it, and if it does grow outside the organization, all the more power to you. It's all great. because we're not here to hold anyone back. If you do have an opportunity that springs up and it just blows up and you want to take a ride with it, that's more than welcome. You know, we're happy that happens to you.
Yeah. Yeah, and no, I mean, like, the way I see it, it's like, it's just because, like, every dude, like, I don't know if you guys are in the same boat, but like, I'll be at work and just like talking to my coworkers, just like about the world, and it's like we live in two totally separate fucking realities, right? And I can't have any sort of engaging political conversation because they still think liberals are leftists, right? Um, and so it's like this is really kind of just my way of coping with that and trying to make that difference, just generally, you know. But yeah, no, I'm gonna go ahead and actually I'm gonna delete that thread that I put, and I'm gonna try and put more of this information in the projects or in the other learning.
If you want, I actually made a little projects with labeled like political education stuff, and I just tagged the three of you two and the other person, so you all can go see that if you want, and you can meet up there, or feel free to take it to another space if you prefer.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Anyone building class consciousness is a win in my book because boy, do we need a lot more of it out there.
Definitely. It's fucking rough, dude. Like, I'm trying to convince somebody right now, just like one of my homies, that Elon Musk does not actually give a shit about your social security.
Yeah. Nope. Not in protecting it anyway,
Yeah, non-protecting it
or making it more efficient.
or getting it to you at all. Yeah. Like, you don't spend $260 million to not make money, right? Fucking wild.
I don't know. Maybe kissing that ass is worth it, but I doubt it.
Yeah, that sweet pasty orange ass.